In the quiet moments, that's where I find a little room to breathe, leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
Great new day to all my self care family and friends. I want to welcome you all back to another recording of the Room to Breathe podcast, the space where we untangle life's chaos, dig deep, and give ourselves permission to exhale. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you're listening from the comfort of your home, on your commute, or while you're out taking a walk, I'm grateful that you've carved out this time for yourself. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us to connect with more amazing people like you. And if we're not friends already, please be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. I also invite you to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We have some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources designed just for you. It's all about embracing our challenges and uplifting and supporting each other every step of the way. It is time for us to choose to prioritize our well being, to embrace our growth, and to find peace in the present moment. So let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Let me see some green hearts in the chat if you are ready. Thank you. Welcome in, Chris, Mufasa. Thank you guys so much for being here. Enchanted Gamer, I see you. Welcome in, you guys. Celtic King, how are you today? Alrighty, guys. So listen, the topic of our podcast today is perfection versus change. And we are going to talk about how perfection is temporary, yet change is constant. Abundant Risings, Lady Blue. Welcome in, Queen. Again, we are going to discuss how perfection is temporary and change is constant. See, perfection is something that we all strive for at different points in our life. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself why? Why do we chase something that doesn't even exist? When we think about perfection, we tend to believe that once we have it, whether it's the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect version of ourselves, then and only then we really truly be happy, right? Once we obtain that perfection, then we could be happy and at peace or deemed what most would call successful. Welcome in, Kale. Happy Winning Wednesday to you too, love. It's like we believe that perfection holds the key to our worth. But here's the truth: perfection is simply an illusion. Perfection is a mirage, it's fleeting, often out of reach, and very much elusive. Yet, so many of us believe that it's a destination. Like, perfection is the ultimate prize. But in the process of changing, or I'm sorry, in the process of chasing after this illusion, right? That this goal that we have, we are overlooking something that is so much more powerful. And that's the power of change. Congratulations, guys. See, change is real. Change is constant. It's the heartbeat of progress, of growth, of evolution. But it's only when we accept that change in all of its imperfect glory. When we finally accept that, that is when we can truly begin to unlock our potential and create something lasting. I want you to think for a moment. Where in your life have you been holding on to perfection? Is it in your career? Like, are you waiting for the perfect opportunity to pursue your dream? Is it in your relationships? Are you waiting for the day that you feel, perfectly confident, perfectly capable, right? Are you waiting for the perfect partner, friend, or family dynamic? For some of us, is it within yourself? Like I said, are you waiting to feel confident, perfectly capable, perfectly worthy before you decide to take action? And that's something worthy of taking a just a moment to reflect on. Where has the pursuit of perfection been keeping you stuck? I can remember a time when I allowed perfectionism to paralyze me. There was this project that I had on my heart for years, a project that I knew could make a difference, a project that I felt deeply passionate about. But for years, I could not bring myself to start. And the only reason why I couldn't even begin was because I felt like it wasn't going to be perfect. I was worried about every little detail, every tiny flaw, every potential mistake. So I kept telling myself, when I'm ready, when I know enough, when I have the perfect strategy, the perfect plan, and so on and so on, right? And of course, that means I waited, I hesitated, I let fear of imperfection prevent me from acting, from moving forward. Welcome in, Jericho. But then I started to realize something. That fear of imperfection wasn't serving me, It was simply keeping me stuck in a state of inaction. And more than that, it was keeping me from doing something that I really wanted to do. So after years of hesitation, I finally decided to just throw perfection to the wind and just start. I spoke with a few people that I trusted, and I decided to launch the project. Was it perfect? No. Did I make mistakes along the way? Absolutely. But you know what? It didn't need to be perfect. That project took on a life of its own and evolved into so many different areas. One of the parts or components of that project became the Room to Breathe music, which is, a space where I decided to combine my love for music with self care and life coaching to create something authentic, something real. It wasn't flawless, but it reflected my journey. It reflected my growth and my willingness to take action, even when I wasn't sure of every step. And that's the beauty of it. The project wasn't perfect, but it became something that truly helped people. People connected with it because it was real, because it was imperfectly authentic. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. I had been waiting for perfection, but what I really needed was simply consistency, consistent effort, no matter how small it was. And I'm not the only one who has been caught in the trap of perfectionism. So many of us hold ourselves back because we feel like we need everything to be just right before taking a leap. Think about the famous stories of well known figures who faced failure before they achieved their greatest success. Look at Walt Disney, right? Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking creativity. He went bankrupt several times, all before he built his Disney empire. If he had waited for perfection, Disney would not exist. Oprah Winfrey was told that she wasn't fit for television when she first started. Her career was full of setbacks, but she didn't let those failures stop her from pursuing her passion. Thomas Edison famously failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. When asked how many failures he had, he said, I have not failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that things won't work. How's that for perception, right? And there's more. We can take a deeper look at some additional stories of well known figures who have embraced imperfection and went on to create monumental success. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He was actually cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he had just given up then, convinced that he would never succeed because he wasn't perfect enough to make the team, right? He didn't. Instead, he practiced harder, he embraced his failure, and he ultimately became the legend that we know today. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, faced multiple rejections before finding a publisher. In fact, her first manuscript was rejected by, I think, 12 different publishers. She was a struggling single mom when she wrote her first book, and then she faced numerous personal challenges, but she didn't let failure define her. Instead, she embraced the struggle, the imperfection, and today her books are some of the best selling books of all time. We could talk about Steve Jobs, the co founder of Apple, right? He was once fired from the very company that he created. Like, let's talk about it. But instead of walking away, he used his experience as a stepping stone to grow and innovate. His return to Apple led to some of the most groundbreaking products and technology that we use today. He embraced change and imperfection, and that led to Apple's iconic success. These stories are powerful reminders that perfection doesn't exist in the path to success. But what does is failure, imperfection, and change. These are all simple parts of the journey. And without those moments, without those struggles, none of these remarkable individuals would have reached greatness. But oftentimes, we fear failure because we believe that it's a reflection of our worth. We think that if we don't get everything right, we're not enough. But here's the truth: failure is not a reflection of your value, failure is an opportunity for you to grow. It is not our abilities that show who we truly are, it's our choices. So when we choose to embrace the imperfect, to take action, even when we don't have all the answers, that's when real transformation happens. And so today I want to challenge you to think about change differently. Instead of, seeing change or actually instead of fearing the unknown, welcome it with open arms. What if instead of resisting the shifts in your life, you begin to embrace them as the very thing that propels you forward? Think about a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. It doesn't resist the change, it welcomes it. See, the caterpillar knows that in order to become something new, something stronger, something more capable of soaring high, that it has to go through that process of transformation. And if you've ever seen a caterpillar changing into a butterfly, you know that that process is not pretty. It ain't cute, right? But it's necessary. And so the only way to make sense of change is to plunge into it. Just jump right in it. We have to begin to understand that change is not the enemy. Change is your greatest ally in the pursuit of growth. And while it may not always feel comfortable, it is a constant force that shapes our life. Whether we're changing jobs, relationships, or the way we see ourselves, the process is messy, but it's the only way that we're going to evolve. So, how do we break free from the grip of perfectionism and step into the power of change? It starts by letting go of the belief that we need to have everything figured out before we begin, letting go of the fear that holds us back from starting, from trying, from failing, letting go of the need for approval or external validation, letting go of the belief that our worth is tied to our achievements or external success. Welcome in, Perk. Letting go of the illusion that perfection is something we can ever truly obtain. See, once we let go of this need for perfection, We create space for authenticity. We create space for embracing our true selves with all of our flaws and imperfections. We can move forward with courage, with confidence, knowing that it is okay to not have all the answers right away. It's okay to not be perfect. Understanding that change is inevitable. So instead of trying to fight it, we need to lean into it, to embrace it. You might not be able to predict where it's going to lead you, but you can trust that it will lead you somewhere you need to be. Thank you, Perk. So, if you are ready to let go of perfectionism and embrace change, you must first shift your mindset. Begin by reframing how you see failure and imperfection. Instead of seeing them as negative, see it as a stepping stone. Understanding that each failure is a lesson, each imperfection is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, and remind yourself that no one, not even the most successful people in the world, have achieved greatness without facing obstacles and setbacks. Step two is to take small steps towards change. See, change doesn't have to be some giant leap. All you have to do is take small, manageable steps. Start with one change, one action, and build from there. Whether it's starting a new project, changing a habit, or even changing the way you think about yourself, each step forward counts. So I encourage you to take the step forward. Step three is to celebrate progress, not perfection. Stay focused on the progress, not perfection. Celebrate every small victory, whether it's a lesson learned, a new skill acquired, or a fear that you face. Every step you take towards change is a win. Remember, it's the consistent effort that leads towards success, not the quest for perfection. So surround yourself with support. Build a community with people who understand and value imperfection. And this is step four, guys. Surround yourself with those who uplift you and encourage you. Share your journey with them and allow them to be a source of inspiration. Allow them to support you when you're facing obstacles. Together, you'll be able to embrace change and create something greater than you could ever have done by yourself. And lastly, step five is to practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself along the way. It is easy to be our harshest critic, especially when things aren't going according to plan. But practicing self compassion is essential to breaking free from perfectionism. You've got to give yourself permission to be imperfect and to make mistakes because those mistakes are part of the process of growth. Hey, butterfly. Those mistakes are what get us to the next level. And so, as we near the end of this conversation about perfection, change, and growth, I want to leave you with one last thought. What would happen if you let go of your need for perfection and embraced imperfection as it is. I want you to imagine your life without the pressure of achieving perfection. No more worrying about meeting everybody's expectations. No more avoiding opportunities because you were afraid of failing. What could you create if you weren't constantly striving to make things perfect? Maybe, just maybe, you would be able to live more freely. Maybe you would take risks that you've been putting on hold for years. Maybe you would embrace opportunities that scared you in the past. Maybe you would give yourself space to fail and then rise stronger than before. But here's something to really think about. What if the person that you're trying to become, the life that you're hoping to live, what if that person is already inside of you, waiting to be unleashed? What if the only thing standing in the way is your own fear of imperfection? You see, the pursuit of perfection is rooted in fear. And fear is what makes us think we're not enough. Fear that we're not enough, that we'll disappoint ourselves or others, fear that we'll be judged. But what if we shifted our mindset and believed that our imperfections are not weaknesses? They're actually our strengths. And I know it's hard. I know it's not easy to let go of something that has been ingrained in your mind for so long. We live in a society that praises perfection, the perfectly polished Instagram photos, the perfectly curated lives, right? We see these glossy images of success and we forget that behind those images, behind those stories, are people who have struggled, people who have experienced failure, loss, growth, right? So I want to remind you that no one is perfect. Not me, not you, and certainly none of the people we admire. Every single person who has achieved great things has experienced challenges, failures, and imperfections. And every single person who has ever overcome adversity has done so not because they were perfect, but because they were consistent and because they were resilient. This is the power of imperfection. When we accept that we don't need to be flawless, we free ourselves from the suffocating pressures of perfectionism. We give ourselves permission to fail, to try again, and to grow. Let me ask you something. How much are you willing to pay for perfection? And I know you might think I'm not paying anything, right? I'm just striving to be the best version of myself. But the truth is, the price of perfectionism is high, and it's one that we often overlook. See, if you're striving for perfection, the price that you're paying is your peace of mind, your happiness, and sometimes even your health. Perfectionism isn't just a mental state, it's a physical and emotional burden that drains us. It can lead to burnout, anxiety, depression, and even physical ailments like headaches, insomnia. But perhaps the most significant price that we pay is our loss of authenticity. We become so focused on presenting a flawless version of ourselves to the world that we forget who we truly are beneath all the layers of perfection. We begin to lose touch with our true passions, desires, and strengths. So, again, we must begin to understand that perfection is not attainable. Even excellence, right, is not the same as perfection. Excellence is a result of effort, consistency, and willingness to grow. It's about showing up, being your best, and accepting that your best doesn't have to be flawless. Excellence comes from the courage to be imperfect and still put your work out there, to still share your gifts with the world. Here's the thing, if we continue to run down this path of perfectionism, we'll miss out on the true joy of living. Perfectionism keeps us trapped in the cycle of I'll be happy when, or I'll do this once everything is perfect. But that cycle only leads to frustration, self doubt, and several missed opportunities. I'm calling on you to break that cycle, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstance, or the perfect anything. The world is waiting for you to offer, even if it's messy, right? It is waiting for you to show up imperfect. What would happen if you just stopped waiting? What would happen if you decided today that you're enough, just as you are, imperfections and all? See, now is the time for us to begin creating, not just for the sake of making something perfect, but for the sake of expression, the sake of growth. It is time for us to begin to embrace change, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because in the end, the discomfort of change is far less painful than the regrets of staying stuck. So here's my challenge to you today: start that project that you've been putting off. Take that leap of faith and try something new. Embrace your flaws. Share your story because your story is powerful and it might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Live authentically, not for the approval of others, but for yourself. And if you find yourself falling short of expectations, which you will, don't see that as a failure. See it as progress, as an opportunity to learn, and most importantly, see it as a part of the process. You are evolving, and evolution doesn't happen in a straight line. It is full of curves, detours, and yes, imperfection. The journey to becoming the best version of yourself isn't about achieving some flawless end state. It's about showing up every single day, doing the best you can with what you have right now, and embracing the messiness of life. Change is constant, it will keep coming, whether you are ready for it or not. But we have a choice. We can resist it and cling to perfection, remain stagnant, or we can embrace it, accept the imperfections, and trust that it will shape us into exactly who we are meant to be. So, as you leave here today, I want you to ask yourself, what would you do if you weren't afraid of being imperfect? The answer to that question is where your freedom lies. Your greatness, your purpose, and your joy are not bound by perfection. They are found in your ability to take risks, to fail, to learn, and to grow. Remember, perfection is temporary, but change is constant. And it's through change, through embracing our flaws and our evolution, that we truly become the people that we're meant to be. So go ahead, step out, be real, and be you, and watch how your life transforms. Not just, the transformation for yourself, but watch how life transforms the world around you. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for joining us. If we're not friends already, be sure to give me a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. And don't forget to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We have some awesome affirmative apparel and motivational merch, as well as a bunch of free resources designed just for you. So, whether you're looking to elevate your self care game or you just need a little extra inspiration to get you through the day, know that we've got you covered. I thank each and every one of you for being a part of the Self Care Club community, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. But until next time, I want to encourage you to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you are always supported here at the Self Care Club. Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. I pray that each and every one of you have an amazing day on purpose, filled with nothing but purpose. And I look forward to connecting again with you soon. Thank you.
I found my room to